have seen the post online. I have read my comments. I have even received some DMs, and you guys are wanting to know, how can you love to learn your hair if you have arrived at a big chop, whether voluntarily and some of you guys involuntarily. So let's talk about it. But first, hello everyone, Kayla here, and this is What the Kink, a natural hair channel where I had very long natural hair. I finally figured out how to get it to grow out and master all of that, and then I decided that I wanted a different look, and I cut my hair short. I do have a video that goes into detail explaining why I cut my hair short, so if you're interested, after this video, go check that one out. But here we are. I have short hair. I still make hair content, and people see that and they're like, okay, you're like boldly and bravely stepping out there. How can I do the same? And guys, the first thing that I'm going to tell you, this might be hard to hear for some people, but I think I fully believe in meeting people where they are. So if right now you don't like your short natural hair, you don't like it, and that's okay. I think that we should fully embrace not liking it. Look in the mirror and be like, I don't like it. And that is okay, because I am not expecting you to magically brainwash yourself and kumbaya, the spirit comes by, and then you finally are filled with love for your natural hair. I just don't think that that's realistic. I watched a video on Instagram where this woman was deciding to make video clips. She's a teacher and she was making clips trying to say, I love my job. And she was making these clips like regularly, and then at one point she was like crying, and then eventually at the end she was like, okay, yeah, I quit, and so on and so forth, and like the light came back to her eyes, unfortunately, guys. So it's like she was trying to tell herself, I love my job, and that was not really the authentic way that she was feeling. And so I feel like with natural hair, no, I'm not gonna tell you to chant some affirmations or something like that. You don't like the short hair, and that's okay. Now, the next thing that I would say is take that though and take it into a constructive thing by saying that, you are going to try different things. Some of them are going to be successes, some of them are going to be fails, and that is also okay. When I first cut my hair off, I did not know what the heck I was doing. I thought, oh, I had long hair, I'm just going to do the same thing I do with my long hair on the short hair, and boom. But no. No, I definitely had to learn some slightly different styling technique. I definitely still need to use the same type of products that I use on the long hair. I don't know why I magically thought that I could use different stuff. That wasn't the case. So I definitely had to learn how to get the look that I like, that I feel like is my best look with the short hair. And that involved some failed stuff. And I was out in public with failed hairstyles and failed techniques. And that is a part of the process. So accept that you are not going to be this person that knows everything with the short hair, and you don't have to be that person. Give yourself the grace and space to know that you don't have to be a master of this big chopped new world. Then I would suggest that you baby step wearing your hair out, whether that is once a month, once a week, something. Or if you just go all in and just be like, you know what, from now on, I'm going to wear this big chop hair out and about. I'm not doing no head wrap. I'm just going to wear it. I think that is important to baby step wearing it out so you can get a feel for that experience of wearing your hair out. I think that you should also make note of where your reality is different from what you thought it was going to be. You may find that a lot of people in your life don't say anything negative at all. You may find that people are complimentary, but you won't know that unless you actually wear the hair out. I feel like the only way through it is through it. It reminds me of this situation where I had honestly, it's kind of a rough exchange that I had with one of my cousins. She was wanting to cook some more plant-forward meals. I gave her the website that I use for pretty much all of my recipes, and I said that, and recently we ate this lasagna, it was really tasty, so on and so forth. And she comes back a couple days later and she's like, what'd you sub the tofu for? And I said, sub? What do you mean? We just cook it. Is there any particular reason why you are wanting to avoid the tofu in this recipe? And for reference, guys, it's a lasagna recipe, and the tofu you're doing like seasonings and stuff like that, and it's not hard, the regular firm tofu, it's the silken tofu, the really mushy stuff that you wouldn't like cook up with or whatever, and you're basically seasoning it in a way to make it like ricotta cheese. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've heard people say ricotta, so I'm saying ricotta. But basically you make the ricotta cheese and then you put it in the layers between the lasagna, so you're not really like eating tofu. It very much feels like you're eating like some sort of cheese type product. So that's what the recipe is. So you can understand here that you can't really sub that. It's difficult. So I'm like, okay. And then she says to me, she's like, well, I just never really developed a taste for tofu. I had it once. I didn't like the texture. I didn't like the way it tasted. So I just haven't developed a taste for it. And I think she was jokingly using that wording. But I said, how can you develop a taste for it if you don't taste it? Like if you're not actually, if you're immediately looking at this recipe that you've never made before, you're like, what can I sub for? Then how can you ever develop a taste for it? Like ever. It doesn't make sense. And she LOL'd and da 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 and blah blah blah. And immediately I just stopped texting her. Because I was like, you know what? I'm out of this conversation. I'm done with it, right? She comes back a couple days later and she's like, oh, we made this recipe and we loved it. But I think she did like a stovetop lasagna. Did not include the cheese thing. So she really did not make the recipe that I sent her, but they enjoyed whatever it was that they ate, but it was not what I sent her. So again, how can you enjoy this chopped hair? How can you get used to your new look if you never actually take the look out into the field, right? So I don't care if it's just, you know, one day a month or one day a quarter, but you need to actually go out and wear this hair. Get it out there in the streets. Something that might be helpful is when you're wearing your hair out, if you wear it around strangers, they don't know you. They don't know what you're supposed to look like or what you're regularly looking like. They're not going to compare the current version of you against a past version of you because they don't have that frame of reference. So perhaps maybe you're wearing your hair out when you go on a vacation. They don't know you. They don't know you. Or maybe you need to drive over to another town to do something really quick. Or maybe you just, you know what, I'm going to go to the shopping center and I'm just going to go to the shopping center in this other town over here and walk around. I'm telling you, most people are not going to say a doggone thing to you. And you might even get some compliments because they don't have the past self to compare you to. And really from there, the only thing left to do is to continue to build reps of wearing your hair and to continue to learn. Keep learning those new things. Keep finding that next technique that works better than that last one. Keep being exposed to more and more people. Keep increasing the days that you wear your hair out and make note of all of the good things that happen as you wear your hair out and all of the people that are not following you around with pitchforks like you thought that they were going to be. But that's all the advice on my end. If you guys have advice that you could give to other people, or if you have even a personal story that would be encouraging to other people, definitely leave that down in the comments below. I'm going to link relevant videos that I mentioned over here to the side. If you really want to support my channel, pop over to the channel page, find a recent video that you didn't watch, and give it a try. I make videos every week, and I will talk to you in the next one.